right, guys, here we are, game one. The bell has been rung by, like, the little dude who, like, rings the bell and, like, the bow tie thing at the start of boxing matches or whatever. But at the start of this game, we have our purple Zerg in the top right part of the map from the team Empire. He is Violet, and on the left side of the map in the blue, challenging our champion Violet, it is oGs.TheStC.
Yes, it is. Here we are, guys. So this is going to be a best of 9 ZVT here. Hope you guys are in for the long haul because ZVT has produced some very long games recently. And there's actually quite a bit of money on the line, of course. Violet did upset our 3-time Fight Club champion, Liquid Hero, in the previous set, a 9-game set. I hope you guys have seen it. It was absolutely ridiculous. The VODs are on youtube.com/IGNProLeague. So Violet has a $100 bounty on his head. If STC wins this match, he not only collects the $500 prize, but also that $100 bounty.
And, you know, here's the thing. Before Hero came along, we didn't really have a champion last very long at Fight Club for quite a while. So it'll be cool to see if Violet can stick around another week or if STC is going to knock him out right away, because it seems like lately anyway it's been pretty rare to have a champion stay on for more than like 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah, Liquid has done quite a good job in these events as well, though. So, of course, Chef led things off and did pretty well, winning a couple of weeks there, and Hero took a few weeks, so maybe we're just waiting on the next Liquid combatant. Maybe. I don't know.
Could be, could be.
All right.
Noni, Jinro, where are you guys at?
Oh, hopefully we'll find them soon.
Oh, well, we have
fight. Ooh.
Fight.
Action.
Oh, that's not fair.
Drama. Intrigue.
That drone could have taken that SCV. Actually, I don't think he could have. But
yeah,
with 2 SCVs, it's an obvious choice. Looks like Command Center on the low ground. Command Center first, in fact, for the STCs. So taking a little bit of a risk early on, going for that very, very early Command Center. Most Terrans know how to hold this pretty well, and most Zergs aren't going to take advantage of it. We see Violet going hatch first himself, so STC should be pretty safe here.
Yeah, STC doing this totally blind, though, has not scouted his opponent at all.
Yeah.
Violet knows exactly what his opponent is up to, deciding to actually put down, I don't know if that was just gas trick or no. Okay, that is legitimately going to be gas into spawning pool, but of course, a little bit late there, decided to get his gas on 18, his spawning pool on 18 as well after the fast expand, so he's going to have a ton of drones at the start of this game.
Well, that's a great decision by Violet, actually. I mean, he knows he's got plenty of time before he's going to be under any sort of pressure at all, so why not go for that very late pool? I think that's a great way to get a couple extra drones out, get your economy going really, really well. And yeah, this drone has been really good at getting a great look at what's going on in STC's base. You know, he sees the gas, he sees the barracks. He's able to kind of get a really good idea of what is going to be going on. And he looks like he's not going to be able to stick around long enough to see if there's going to be a factory that goes down. But when he sees that gas, that should tell him, you know. It's probably going to be reactor Hellions. However, this is the STC. He tends to have a lot of different openings, so we could see him go for something else.
And STC finally scouting out now, heading over to the right-hand side of the map. He will indeed pick up on his opponent very quickly as they did spawn close positions by air. STC, is going ahead and putting down that factory now, decided consciously, sometimes you'll see that quick command center and then right at 2 gas so they can put up that factory as quick as possible, but still just opting for just 1 gas for the time being.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to see that really fast third command center from STC. He has been doing that quite a bit lately. If you do this reactor Hellion expand opening, there's a point just after your first 2 Hellions where you have enough to put down a command center. But nope, just going to throw down a couple more barracks right away. So it's going to be a fairly normal Marine tank game, it looks like, in the early mid-game here. Probably just going to go for that 2-base timing push at around 11-ish minutes. 10-11 minutes is usually when that comes.
And that should pop out here in just a bit. He does have his factory done. He's already floating it over. We put down on that reactor, so we can see some Hellions in a bit. Violet, on the other hand, he's not put down any spine crawlers or anything along the lines yet. In fact, he's not even produced a single Zergling. He's done nothing but just pump out endless amounts of drones. There we go. Finally, a few Zerglings starting to come out now.
He's been taking every advantage he can from having that very passive opening from his Terran opponent. And I wonder if we're going to see him throw down a couple spine crawlers just to kind of stay safe from the Hellions. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have, at least 1 there. But he may try to just defend us with queens, too. I mean, really, really trying to get a very strong economy here. I'm a bit surprised that he hasn't connected his base with creep tumors quite yet. Usually you'll use some of the early energy on a queen just to get that going. But I think it's kind of another sort of example of how he's taking advantage of this very passive opening from the STC, using that energy on Larva for more drones rather than just a little bit of creep spread.
Yeah, so it's been about 7 minutes now, and we're going to have our first little engagement in this
Look out,
game.
Creep Tumor.
As the Hellions are going to roll their way out, and we'll see how quickly Violet turns around and decides to bring back these Zerglings, as he is already going through the destructible rocks. They want to take his third up here at the top, but also give him a nice attack path through the left-hand side.
Be an interesting place to take it, and I think that would be a good idea as well. You know, kind of force SDC to take that third base. It's a little bit harder to defend from things like mutas and all that. So a good decision by Violet. It's going to need to worry about these Hellions, though, before anything else, but like we were looking at earlier, it kind of looks like he's going to just defend with Queens, and yeah, SDC doing everything right, just kind of denying the creep spread as much as he can.
Yeah, well done there. He eliminates the creep spread right away for Violet. Violet just working off of this one active creep tumor. Already another queen being sent out to go ahead and put those down and restart the process. But SDC gets himself a nice little game here at the beginning of the game. He is going up to Starport now. Already has 5 Marines at a time, Stimpec, and an engineering bay on the way. Violet, on the other hand, now pumping out a ton of Lings with 1-1. Yeah,
looks like Violet may be setting up for Ling Infest for Ultra here. Usually the double Evo chambers is kind of an indication that they're not going to go Mutalisks. It still happens, but it's still a little bit rare at that point. Oh, Zergling Barbecue.
Yeah, quite a bit of one there, as just 2 Zerglings remaining. They are very low on health. This Hellion running on down to the bottom just to make sure that there was no base taken there. SDC also sees that the destructible rocks are cleared up.
Forces another cancel on that creep tumor too. Yeah, seeing those destructible rocks is kind of a nice little bonus for the STC, because now it's going to be difficult for Violet to expand there. With the Marine medevac composition that STC is going for in the mid game, it's going to be tough for Violet to expand there and defend from drops. So we'll have to see where he decides to take his third. He may just decide to go for that very late third after having a very safe mid game. Might see him even add on Infestors before he takes it at this point.
He's making a huge number of Zerglings right now. He's got 6 more Lings added on to the 48 that he just produced, with 1-1 upgrades coming up, plus 1 Carapace is already done. Of course, we do have that third base down at the bottom right in the corner.
Did decide to take it, thought he could defend it well, so we'll see if he can. He's going to need to defend against this drop, and that's a lot of Marines to come down. Oh, and Hellions on the low ground. This is going to be a difficult spot for Violet unless he responds just perfectly.
Violet actually kind of running on by.
No.
But he's let everything drop onto the high ground now. What is he going to come back with? He has such a long walk distance here, and SDC is going to be able to kill a lot of stuff.
Yeah, man, he's going to go right for the spawning pool, take that out, and he could get more. We'll see. Here come all the Zerglings. They are all 1-1. He's going to wedge himself back into that corner, and he's going to kill a lot of these Zerglings. He may kill most of them. Nope, not quite. Never mind.
He's going to decide to pick up and get out of there. It looks like he loses about, I don't know, 12 Marines, something like that, and 3 of his Hellions. So did quite a bit of damage there. In return, taking out the spawning pool is oh so nice, as the only other unit producing tech that Violet has up right now is this Infestation Pit.
Yeah, it's going to definitely slow him down a little bit. Give STC some breathing room if he wants, can expand if he decides to, or, just follow this up with a really strong push at a point where Violet's going to be a little bit weaker.
Now, SGC did finish up another command center inside of his main, just morphing that into an orbital command for now. He also has pretty good upgrades, or could start pretty good upgrades now, as he does have the armory down with multiple engineering bays. And he's going to try and redrop again. Picks off 2 drones, actually, and then is forced to move away.
Yeah, so many Lings from Violet here. Just a very, very heavy Zergling style early on in this game. And it is pretty good at stopping drops. I mean, we saw even with that great positioning that STC had and the nice unit composition against Zerglings, Violet was still able to handle it fairly well. He was a little bit out of position at first and did lose the spawning pool, but once he got in there, it didn't last very long.
Let's take a look now, as we have 5 Infestors just about to pop up. 2-2 going to finish up as well, so we may see that Hive in just a bit if he decides to go down that Ultralist path.
Yeah, man, this is kind of like the style that Stefano has been doing quite a bit lately in ZVT. Goes for pretty quick Brood Lords. I mean, we'll see if Violet decides to do that. I mean, right now it is just Ling Infestor, and he could go into Ultra, but either way, this is a great setup for getting that early Hive that we've been seeing more and more Zerg players go for in this matchup.
4 more barracks coming up now for the STC, so investing in its infrastructure. He's going to have to watch out, though, for those Zerglings, who actually do catch a glimpse of the next base.
Yep.
We have another drop coming in as well. 2 of them, as a matter of fact. One here up the top, going through the Spine Crawler for now. Another one down at the bottom, but there's already a couple of Spine Crawlers there waiting with the Infestor. In fact, if STC wanted to, if Violet wanted to go ahead and try and do some damage, but Violet coming right through the front with a huge, massive Zerglings.
Oh, I don't know about this.
But beautiful tank position on the high ground, stopping one of those Infestors flat and a ton of those Lings.
That drop down at the third is still doing damage, by the way. It killed both Spine Crawlers. He's killing drones now as well. Oh, great Marine positioning, and he kills about as much as you could hope for with that drop. 2 spines, a bunch of drones, and another drop in the main. SDC taking a page out of Gumiho's book, it looks like, in this game.
Yeah, working out pretty well for him as well, keeping Violet on his toes, allowing him to secure his own third base there. It's kind of interesting. Violet could have turned around with one Infestor and been able to stop this drop down at the bottom, but as it stands, he's now lost 12 workers.
Yep. And the drops continue. Looks like this medevac might escape. Just one fungal on those Marines to make sure that they die quickly. No Queens there to kill off the medevac or anything. And SDC is a pretty well-defended third base. I mean, this is kind of one of the things he's always been known for, is just being really, really good at defending his bases. And I would not want to attack that if I was a Zerg player, but it looks like Violet may decide to go for it. There's the Spire and the Hive as well, so it looks like it will be fast Broodlords. It's been a little bit delayed, but it still should hit around the 17-minute mark, so not too far behind.
Yeah, just what I was going to say there is, looks like he's bypassing those Ultralisks for the time being. He still has some pretty significant upgrades for those Broodlings, though. He's really got to watch out. It looks like he is going to move up here and put some Infested Terrans on the high ground. Catches a lot of the tanks unsieged, but the Infestors headbutting into the units and drop down a couple of fungal growths. Don't get a ton more done other than that, but all the siege tanks have now fallen, despite the fact that there's a good number of Marines left. Violet did a nice job going straight through those siege tanks.
Yeah, the big mistake, though, that Violet made in that engagement is that he lost all of his Infestors. You just cannot do that. It's really, really hard to kind of maintain your position in the game if you just let your Infestors die every push. We can see he's having to make 9 more right now. That's a 900 gas that could have gone for Broodlords, more upgrades, things like that. He's still not in a bad position at all, of course, but you just cannot afford to lose those Infestors like that.
And looks like SCC going to run down to the right. He's not going to pick up on a base inside of the pocket there. Ling's actually making their way into the main, though, and he should be able to pick off at least one tank. Does get one. Looks like he's going to go after a couple of SCVs now, but it may come at the loss of a base.
Yeah, I think so. He just didn't have enough units to defend this anyway. Here come more Zerglings from behind, but they are not doing very much damage. They do manage to pick off one of the tanks here. Oh, no, more Infestor headbutting.
Yeah.
Violet just not controlling his expensive units very well. He loses the hatchery. Things starting to look a little bit grim for our champion in Game 1 here.
Yeah, I think STC is going to roll to victory here. He's got 2 more command centers coming up. He's effectively denied the Broodlord tech for a while just because of how many resources he's killed.
Yeah.
Looks like now Violet will be able to put up a few Corruptors. He's got none out, so Broodlords are going to be nowhere to be found anytime soon.
He's got a lot of resources for this, but he just doesn't have the larva right now. I bet if we look at the unit tab, yeah, he'd only had like 7 larva, no larva at all. He's had to use it only on defensive units. Couldn't make any Corruptors to turn into Broodlords. And it's just going to not work out very well for him from here, I think. I think STC is about to just roll right to a win on this map.
Yeah, it looks like he is. Last couple of Infested Terrans. They're making a stand, but it didn't matter. They were going to die anyway in a bit. So, and there it is. GG, game number 1. And Empire Violet is down 0-1 in this best of 9.
Yeah, just